For so many years, the contributions and achievements of military women went, for the most part, unrecognized. There certainly wasn't a single location you could go to learn about their history. That changed in October 1997 with the dedication of a memorial here at the historic gateway to Arlington National Cemetery. More than 30,000 came to celebrate the dedication of the Women in Military Service for America Memorial.
This is the largest gathering ever of servicewomen and veterans whose service spans the time from World War I to the present.
And we kept saying, we can't believe that we're doing this. After all these years now, we're going back to Washington, and we're marching in like conquering heroes, you know, and it was grand.
I went to the dedication memorial and seeing all those people who, particularly like the World War II veterans, you know, thousands and thousands of them, who really hadn't been recognized, hadn't gotten VA benefits when they got out, hadn't been offered the opportunity to stay in, had not been celebrated as being an important part of our military history, were getting recognized.
It was an event tailored for all the military women in the audience.
I wanted every woman to feel that she was represented somewhere in some way.
World War I veteran Frida Hardin, then 101 years old, put the changes that have taken place over the years in perspective for everyone.
When I served in the Navy, women were not even allowed to vote.
For the veterans in the audience, the day had special significance, as their service and sacrifices were finally recognized.
America knows what you do and what you have done. Maybe it hasn't always been recognized in the past as it should have been. But today, we proclaim loudly and clearly, we recognize it, we're grateful for it, we say God bless you, and we will always thank you for helping to make our country what it is.
And the tears flowed. Of course, we were so happy that we finally have our memorial.
It was a good feeling, almost as good as VJ Day.
Brigadier General Vaught is the driving force that made this memorial possible, a goal achieved only after 10 years of hard work and a lot of support.
The easiest part of getting the memorial was getting people to say, yes, let's do it. The difficult part was getting the money to do it. As we decided we needed to get a site that this would help us in our fundraising efforts, I thought this is going to be extremely difficult to find a place that's on the tourist path, because I didn't want to do something that no one ever visited.
That's when General Vaught happened upon this location.
And what could be more relevant than to honor anyone, any military person, at the Gateway to Arlington National Cemetery.
The buildings for the original site were dedicated in 1932 as a ceremonial entrance to Arlington Cemetery. General Vaught decided it was the perfect site for her purpose.
It's on the tourist path. 4.5 million people visit Arlington National Cemetery a year, and we had the opportunity to build, and it turned out, I think, very well.
Today, the memorial is home to a variety of displays depicting the history of women's service to our country.
Not a week goes by, hardly, that we still yet don't discover new things that women did. Up here is Senator Margaret Chase Smith with Harry Truman, and that's when he signed the legislation, the Women's Armed Services Integration Act, which gave women the opportunity to be in the service other than in wartime. There were many people that thought this was going to be a very dark, dismal structure being built into the hill the way it is, but with the skylight it didn't turn out that way at all. So I think we were very fortunate. I like to go up on the upper terrace because this memorial is at the crossroads of American history. With the cemetery there behind us, President Kennedy's grave, Arlington House, which was the Lee Custis mansion, that's our yesterday. And then you turn and you look down Memorial Drive toward the Lincoln Memorial, and there is our nation's capital, which is our future.
And in the future, thousands of visitors will stroll along this terrace and pause to see another highlight of the Women's Memorial, etched in these glass tablets.
The quotations are either written by women who served or about women who served. And one of the beautiful things, and we knew this ahead of time, was that when the sun is just right, they reflect on the marble down below.
Providing a place where people can learn the important role women have played in the history of our military is the main purpose of the memorial. But that history grows with each passing day. That's where the memorial's registry comes in. It offers all women who serve a chance to make sure their service is also remembered.
I think it's important to show that you are a part of the history of our country, and it's important enough that you want to be included in this memorial, that your picture is here, that your story is here, that you're a part of this long panorama of history.
Here we are.
Military women can sign up for the registry at the memorial or online, but that information can only be accessed while visiting the memorial, and private information is kept secure.
And it's only through here, through the registry, it's information about your military service, what year you served from 1 to 1 in the places, whatever information you provide to us. Any personal information is very safeguarded at the foundation.
Today, there are many who believe drawing attention to the accomplishments of military women detracts from the idea that equality has already been achieved in the U.S. military. General Vaught was aware of those sentiments when she first envisioned this memorial.
When I started working on this, I went through a 3-month period when I thought, are we doing the right thing to build a memorial for women? We have worked so hard to be integrated, and we have made such progress at that, of being accepted by everybody as full-fledged soldiers, airmen, Marines, sailors. But then I concluded that this was something that certainly the women who had served in Korea and World War II needed. And that all of us need to know better the history of our service. And I concluded that it was the right thing to do. If I thought for 1 minute that we had gained everything there is to be gained in being women members of the military, then perhaps there isn't a need. But as I look at what happens in the world today, there is still much to be done.
General Vaught often uses the words of World War II veteran Anne Brim to describe the mission of the Women's Memorial. Words that also express so well what countless military women have felt through the years.
Let the generations know that women in uniform also guaranteed their freedom.
That our resolve was just as great as the brave men who stood among us.
And with victory our hearts were just as full, beat just as fast.
That the tears fell just as hard for those we left behind.
I'm Air Force Sergeant Daniela Marcus. This has been Recon.